The Delta Fireman's Ball is Saturday, July 27th. You can enjoy food, live music, games, and more. There will be a poker run from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Keith Davis will be playing music from 6 to 9 p.m. For more information on the Delta Fireman's Ball, contact Jim or Fake Harry at 319-212-8772. The Delta Fireman's Ball is coming up Saturday, July 27th. Don't miss it. Keokuk County Expo 2024 Stars, Stripes, and Summer Nights is the place to be in July. Things start off with a bang on Monday, July 15th with Rogue Rodeo at 7:30 p.m. On Thursday, July 18th is the Keokuk County Expo Queen Contest and the Bill Riley Talent Search. On Friday, Tyler Richardson and the High Bank Boys will be in concert starting at 7:30 p.m. And then on Saturday, it's the Figure 8 races at the Keokuk County Expo. Bring the family, have a great time, and enjoy the fair at the Keokuk County Expo in Sigourney. The Union Mills Community Closet presents Christmas in July fundraiser dinner, July 27th, starting at 5 p.m. at Bradbury Hall, Nelson Pioneer Farm, Oskaloosa, serving a catered dinner of chicken cordon bleu or savory sliced beef. Call 641-200-1940 or look for Union Mills Community Closet on Facebook to purchase your tickets. Tickets are $30 or $240 to reserve an entire table. All proceeds directly benefit Union Mills Community Christmas Toy Drive. It's the Christmas in July fundraiser dinner, July 27th at Bradbury Hall, Nelson Pioneer Farm.
And now, your hosts of the Card Subject to Change podcast, the For Frequency Sake Tag Team Champions of the World, the Wizard CZ, and never wrong, Nick Gold.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Card Subject to Change podcast, the podcast by the fan, for the fan. We are brought to you. We are powered by Lopez Pizza, built by Durham Remodeling, colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo, and protected by Jared Zook of Country Financial. I am, of course, your host, never wrong, Nick Bull. Joining me is my tag team partner, co-champ of the For Frequency Sake Network. We wear those co-champ belts proudly around here, as there is no off-season in wrestling. This is the Wizard CZ. Wiz, how you doing?
Man, it has been a long weekend. I'm a little bit on the tired side, but it has been a great weekend.
Yeah, you're right. It's been a whirlwind. If you're not just talking about Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the days leading into it. Of course, the 4th was on a Thursday. Some people worked Friday. Some people didn't work Friday. Everybody had off Thursday. It's just been a wild time. For the time has flown by. It's been a whirlwind, and in that whirlwind has been plenty of wrestling to consume and watch, and that's what we did this past weekend.
Absolutely. And before we get into the big dogs, I got to give a shout out to Central Empire Wrestling and to Zawa Live. Both had shows up about 45 minutes from the Quad Cities in the Clinton and Comanche, respectively. Both had excellent shows. Unfortunately, I ducked out a little early of the CEW show. If you saw my post online, I was a little overheated. Rory Fox did offer to sell me some water, but I declined. I could get water for free elsewhere. But no, I got to see a lot of friends of the podcast, a lot of former guests this weekend, including Matt Hatter at the Zawa show, and meet a couple of new contacts. So I was excited about that.
Excellent work as always, CZ. Of course, we'll keep our lips tight here on to who you booked this weekend. That'll be in the future. Big guest to announce. Our lips are sealed. You were wondering how WWE could do it. WWE's been on a roll lately with their premium live events. They've done a great job from month to month with them. And it seems like every time we review a WWE PLE on here, we are giving it rave reviews and talking about how much we liked it. It happened twice this weekend, folks. I don't know how they did it, but they pulled it off. Money in the Bank yesterday as we record this. We record this on Sunday evening. And of course, NXT Heatwave just wrapped up, and that's when we're recording post Heatwave. Both of these shows were extraordinary. I was totally drawn in and perplexed by the NXT show, and love how these cards only have 5 or 6 matches on them. Each match is given its time to breathe. Each match is given its time to go out there and do its thing. And both of these pay-per-views, if you have not watched them yet, Money in the Bank and or NXT Heatwave, are can't-miss pay-per-views in my opinion. You need to go back and watch them. A lot of stuff happened. Some good in-ring action, some good storyline development stuff. But I loved both of these shows. And, of course, we're going to talk about NXT Heatwave first since it's the freshest in our minds.
Can I just throw out, I want to give credit to WWE for a 6 o'clock start time on both of these shows.
Yes.
Especially on a Sunday night. You look at the competition where TK throws out 1,200 matches and it goes until 11:30 at night, and I got to work it. I got to work the next morning.
Listen, Forbidden Door only went 4 hours, so you got to give them slack there.
Okay, I will, but the 6 o'clock start time. If we had, if it had been on at 7, we'd be still watching the main event at this point. So kudos to WWE for giving us that earlier start time this weekend. I like that a lot. I hope it continues. We had some really good matches, and the thing that I want to point out, you don't see this often, but all 5 active titles in NXT were on the line tonight.
Yeah. Yes, they were. You had both men's and women's North American championships. You had both men's and women's titles. And then, of course, you had the NXT tag teams featured on the card as well. So, yes, 5 matches, 5 titles, all up for grabs in the NXT world tonight. And the show started with who has been quite possibly the most polarizing figure in NXT right now, Obafemi, and how powerful he is and how he's burst onto the scene. Doesn't have a lot of matches under his belt, but he is evolving and becoming right before our eyes this legitimate monster with a pretty good moveset in the ring. A collegiate athlete, I believe at Alabama, but has really put that behind him and is now this legit monster on the wrestling scene. He is the North American champion in NXT right now. And he took on what Booker T and Vic Joseph were proclaiming as the greatest North American champion of all time tonight, Wes Lee. Quite the size differential. Wes Lee had his work cut out for him. I never had any doubt that Oba was going to win this match. I didn't think they would take this away from him. But these went out. The contrast in styles, the contrast in sizes is really apparent in this match. But it worked well in this match, using Oba's power, throwing Wes Lee several times in this match. Wes Lee with his heart and staying in this match kept him in it. But in the end, it was too much. Obafemi's just too much for whoever's in the ring with him. No diss to Wes Lee, but I think that title's staying on Obafemi for quite some time.
I think you're correct. I really do. You said one thing that I want to touch on, and that is Wes Lee's heart. Wes Lee, I'm not his biggest fan. I didn't like him in the MSK days. I couldn't stand him or his partner. He's grown on me a little. He's a fantastic athlete. I'm not knocking his in-ring ability. I don't gravitate towards him. But you mentioned his heart. Reminds me a lot of the true greatest North American champion in NXT, Johnny Gargano, who had a lot of heart.
You got to get that Johnny Gargano plug in there, don't you?
Yes, I do.
He was a North American. He was a North American champion, wasn't he?
3 times.
That's right. Geez, that belt hasn't been around very long, but then again, it has been a lot around. When you talk about Gargano holding it, he's been on the main roster for quite some time now. But Obafemi looked very impressive in this match. I know they got big plans for him coming down the road. You got to think he's going to be on the main roster sooner rather than later. They just want to get him some more experience. But man, he is a force to be reckoned with. Good opener for match. Crowd was into this big time. I was into it too. Right away, I'm like, wow, they've picked up where Money in the Bank left off, and they're really taking the ball and running with this. So props to the NXT crew for kicking off the show right and for putting together a great pay-per-view all together with Heatwave.
Oh, a striker chiming in here, giving me a hard time, saying Adam Cole Bay is better than Johnny. I disagree. He's up there. He's up there. He's I put him number 2. But man, no, Obafemi is just a monster, and you could tell because Wesley got the crap kicked out of him throughout this match. Was able to pull off some offense, but just this was one-sided in my opinion, in a good way. It wasn't a squash. It was a good match. Styles make fights, as we like to say, and I enjoyed this match thoroughly. I thought it put Obafemi that much further up with the North American title run, and they teased it later on with a backstage segment. You got to wonder what's next for Wesley.
Yeah, I seen something flash up on my phone before we went on the air. He's addressing his future on Tuesday night, so just 2 short nights away. Wesley will be addressing the crowd and go from there. I don't know. I mean, I don't think he's going to retire, but I don't know who they have interrupt his promo to set his new program. But it'll be interesting to see. As the men's NXT show kicked off with the North American title. It was followed by the women's North American Championship. Your champion, Kalani Jordan, your newly crowned NXT Women's Champion. I believe she won that title at the last pay-per-view of NXT. Am I right?
Big ladder match for the women's North American, yes.
And she's taking on Sol Ruca, who's kind of been fresh onto the scene. I think there's big things in store for Sol Ruca. She's athletic. She's got the look. She does some innovative stuff in the ring that I haven't seen anybody else do before, which is, I think, her sticking point. I was rooting for Sol to pull this out. Not going to lie, nothing against Kalani Jordan, but I just like Sol Ruca a little bit better. But Kalani Jordan showed why she belongs, showed why she's the NXT Women's North American Champion. I think she's going to hold on to that belt for a while. Sol Ruca was a good first test for her. And I expect big things from Sol Ruca going forward here in the future.
Oh, for sure. And, the build up to this match, these two are good friends. I had the pre-show on for a little bit. They showed a package a package in TV terms is a video piece dedicated to a specific subject. Nick knew that because we're both old TV hands, but they were working out together, building up to this match, and it was interesting because they'd be cheering each other on, and you'd see one do a piece part of a workout, and then the other would follow and do it themselves, and just back and forth. And you could really tell the chemistry was there in this match. Obviously they have to be good friends. Well, they don't have to be, but you can tell the friendship is there with the chemistry that they had together in the ring.
Mm-hmm. All 4 ladies showcased tonight on the NXT Heatwave Premium Live event, I think, are big-time players in the future, whether it's in NXT or WWE. I think all 4 of these ladies, Kalani Jordan, Sol Ruca, Roxanne Perez, Lola Vice, I think they all have very bright futures in the squared circle. NXT's done a very good job of finding the talent and now starting to make it better, form it, mold it into what they want it to be for a main level star. And these 4 ladies that were on the card tonight, I thought did a great job for women's wrestling, did a great job for showcasing NXT and what they do for women's wrestling. And I just wanted to give props to all 4 of them. I know we weren't talking about the women's championship match yet, but all 4 women, I thought really did a superb job tonight on tonight's show.
NXT has done a brilliant job of building their women's roster, and the commentary team will be the first to tell you it's the best women's roster in the business, and I don't disagree.
I don't. There's a lot of good stuff going on NXT. It's kind of my closet. It's kind of my favorite show to watch out of the week. I know there's Raw, I know there's SmackDown, I know there's Dynamite. There's something about NXT I just really like what they're doing right now. I just think their attention to detail right now is second to none. Like, they're just doing great things, and this pay-per-view shows it. 5 matches. I was texting a friend of ours before we went on the air, and I'm like, 5 for 5. They went 5 for 5 tonight. And my friend thought maybe that it was better than Money in the Bank. And I can't say, oh, that's crazy for saying that. Money in the Bank was really good, but Heat Wave picked up where it left off and kind of just boom, ran and did a great job of itself. Two completely different pay-per-views, but both were very good pay-per-views. Be interested. This might be NXT's best offering of the year here with Heat Wave, and I could say the same for Money in the Bank outside of Mania. Money in the Bank was excellent too.
And we'll talk about Money in the Bank a little bit later, but
for sure.
Can I just throw out, I'm a big fan of the black and gold era of NXT. That is where I came into it. I love everything about it. It's not the same feel as the black and gold era as far as the aura that NXT, the persona that NXT is putting out, but the talent feels very much right on par with the black and gold era, in my opinion. You've got some great